That was delightful.
If you put that on the video,
I will not put that in the video.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. One more time.
Hey, I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Kaylee. And today we're going to be talking about Legend of Korra. I personally think that this season is exciting and hilarious, and I love it, and I can't wait to talk about it. So, one thing that I really like about this season is that we have this time skip going on, which usually I hate time skips. Cue Young Justice rant right here. But I think this was executed really well. They explain what was happening in those few years. It kind of shows them having grown up and at different places in their lives, but you still realize what has all happened. I also really liked that they went into detail about how these past 3 years for Korra have been a lot of therapy and, you know, getting herself back into, like, being able to function on her own. I like that it was not just a, oh man, you got, like, destroyed by that last villain, but you'll be okay by Sunday. You know, it was like a real process, and I think it was cool that they showed that.
Yeah, I really like how they treated the time skip for this. I was especially interested to see how they treated Bolin and Mako after the time skip. Like, at first, when you see that Bolin is working for Kuvira, you're like, what the heck? What are you even doing? Because from the get-go, it just kind of screamed bad idea for me, but I think Bolin was just excited to be working for something, to feel like he was a part of something bigger, had his grown-up pants on, was doing a big boy job. I mean, that sounds really condescending, but at the same time, like, he literally was just like a movie actor and a professional bender, which probably didn't seem like all that important jobs to him. It was nice to see that they didn't totally change Bolin's character, and that when he found out what was really going on with Kuvira, because from the get-go he was trying to believe the best of her, that she was trying to help people and do what was best for the Earth Kingdom, and then when he realized that she wasn't, he was like, ain't nobody got time for that. I think Mako working for Prince Wu is the most hilarious thing in the world. I die. I think Wu is hilarious, but I think it's just so funny because you can tell Mako's like, I did not sign up for this. I did not sign up for this.
His new facial expression is...
I was really sad when Mako and Bolin met up and they were just like, all the tension. I was like, no, you have to love each other. I mean, obviously we'll see that tension resolved when Bolin gets back. After Mako stops thinking he's dead, which I don't think he knows that he's supposed to be dead yet, or if he'll ever think he's actually dead. I don't know how that's all gonna work out.
It'll be interesting if he does. And if he doesn't, then...
If he doesn't, I mean, whatever. But I think it would be kind of interesting to see how he would react if he did think that Bolin was dead. Bolin's whole bromance with Varric is kind of adorable.
Well, I think that Varric is definitely a topic that I want to discuss. I like seeing this different side of him that we've seen before. I mean, he's always been kind of like an in it for me and me alone sort of guy. I mean, you always kind of knew that. But, I mean, with this season, you see him, like, he's willing to die than give Kuvira this weapon. You can see a more compassionate side. I mean, the reason he's building this weapon at all was because he was looking for, like, an energy source that he could share with the world. You know, so I think it's really interesting to see the side of him because he's been kind of, like, more on the villain side in the past. Obviously, I think him and Julie is a topic. I personally don't think Julie has actually betrayed him. I think she was just like, hell no, am I gonna survive in a concentration camp, so better just fake it. And I can't inform Varric of any of this because he's an idiot. Totally incompetent without me. But we'll see how that goes. He's definitely, yeah, feeling sad.
His acting when they were trying to get past the walls.
That was, I don't really think that was acting. I think he just like,
but I lost the papers and the bear attacked me, and do you really wanna bring that up? That was hilarious.
Yeah. But I also really like that you're seeing a more loyal side out of him as well this season. He wasn't really interested in helping the concentration camp escapees. He did stop the little, I don't know what those robot things are called, from, like, he shorted them out or whatever. I mean, he's very resourceful, kind of, yeah, quick on his feet. He did that, and then he was like, hey, Bolin, let's go, because you're, like, my BFF now. The new Julie.
Do the thing!
What thing? I think that's really interesting. You get to see a more hero side of him this season.
I don't know. I have kind of mixed feelings on Kuvira, just because, like, last season she was good. She was Suyin's protege, and she was like an awesome metal bender. You like to think that she's got the best intentions of the Earth Empire, I guess, at heart. Obviously, like, you can't agree with half the stuff she's doing, like throwing out all the people who aren't Earthbenders and the, like, blackmailing people into going onto her side. But at the same time, like, you could make an argument that she's not completely in the wrong. Like, I don't really think that Wu would have been a good ruler, so I don't know. It's kind of an interesting situation. Also, I don't know, I don't entirely agree with the idea that Suyin should have been allowed to keep ruling her city on her own. Like, if you're in a kingdom where everywhere else is united, why should you get to have, like, one autonomous city? Feel free to disagree if you think I'm completely and totally wrong, but I understand the wanting all the places to be at least submissive to the main ruler just because that makes everything work better. I don't completely agree with Kuvira's methods, but I understand where she's coming from. I don't know, with her I would like to see her reasoned with, not just, you know, kaput, like the other villains have been so far.
Quote from Batman, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And I think that's where that's kind of going. Like, a Jurassic Park quote, dropping quotes all over the place, where it says, some of the biggest mistakes have been made with the greatest intentions.
It's lots of politics that I don't actually feel like going into, so we'll just leave it there for now.
I mean, another thing that I see, at least before, like, they took over Zaofu and everything, was it was kind of parallel to Avatar Kyoshi, which I just thought was really cool. But one thing that I think we haven't talked about that really needs talking about is Korra. What I really like about this season is that the book name gives it away. It's all about her finding her balance, you know, learning to balance spiritual and sort of the physical aspect of being an avatar, along with peacemaking skills, like when you strive for peace and you're the diplomat or whatever, and when you're the fighter that just comes in and KOs people. But what I really like about this season, I mean, Kuvira may be like the person villain, but I mean, really what Korra has to fight is herself. She's still got a poison in her mind, and she can't be the avatar until she faces her inner demon. Well, I think that, I mean, Kuvira is definitely no pushover. It's not like Korra, you know, wrestles with herself and comes out the victor or whatever, and then just completely KOs. Kuvira, I would like to see actually kind of reasoning and talking with in that sense. There's always been like the physical enemy, Amon and all them, but this season it's Kuvira's not really the enemy, it's Korra.
I hope that Toph comes back because, let's be honest, everybody kind of wants to see Toph kick Kuvira's ass just a little bit. I think the relationship between Bolin and Opal needs to get resolved, obviously. I don't particularly like them together, but whatever. You also need to see whether Baatar Jr. is going to make up with his family or not. He's kind of a jerk, so I'm not really crossing my fingers on that. Also, Korra Sami.
It's a thing.
Subtext. But I'm really happy that romance and any kind of romantic relationship is really on the back burner in this season, because it's not the most important thing, and whether Korra ends up with Mako or Sami or Bolin or whoever, I really don't care. Pop. The relationship between Korra and herself right now is more important than her relationship with anybody else, so I don't really care who she ends up with. I mean, that's what I think of the season so far. I really like the direction it's going in. So let us know what you think. What do you think about this series, the relationships, where you think it's going? Hit thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. I'll put our social media links in the down bar. You can click subscribe right here, and you can click on our last video right here. We talked about Arrow and the Flash in that video. So yeah, until next time, have a nice day.
Stay cool. I'm so awkward.
I thought it was interesting to... What?